Willowbrook, high upon a steep, misty mountain, lived a man named Micah Turner. Micah was a kind and gentle soul, loved by everyone who knew him. He had a loving wife, Sarah, and 2 children, Emily and Michael. Micah was a hard-working man, dedicated to his family and his job at the local dentist. One fateful day, as Micah was walking home from work, he was struck by a sudden pain in his chest. He collapsed on the sidewalk, gasping for breath. Passers-by rushed to his aid and called for an ambulance, but despite their best efforts, Micah could not be revived. He had died of a heart attack. Unbeknownst to Micah, he did not realize he had passed away. He found himself in a state of confusion, standing on the same sidewalk where he had fallen, watching the paramedics work frantically to save his life. He could hear their voices, see their worried expressions, but he felt strangely detached, as if he was observing everything from a great distance. Desperate to reach out to his family, Micah followed them home. He watched as Sarah answered the door, her eyes swollen from crying. He saw Emily and Michael sitting on the couch, their faces pale with shock and grief. Edward longed to comfort them, to tell them that he was still here, that he loved them and would always be with them. Days turned into eternity, and Micah remained in a state of limbo, unable to interact with the world he once knew. He tried to communicate with his loved ones, whispering words of love and reassurance, but they couldn't hear him. It was as if he existed in a parallel reality, unable to touch or be touched. As time passed, Micah's desperation grew. He watched helplessly as his family struggled to cope with his loss. Sarah became withdrawn, her laughter replaced by tears. Emily and Michael, once bright and cheerful, became somber and distant. Edward's heart ached for them, and he vowed to find a way to reach out to them, to let them know that he was still here, watching over them. One night, as Micah wandered the empty streets of Willowbrook, he encountered a mysterious figure. The figure was cloaked in shadows, with piercing eyes that seemed to see straight through Micah's soul. "Why do you linger here?" the figure asked, his voice echoing like distant thunder. "I cannot leave my family in their time of need," Micah replied, his voice filled with sorrow. "I must find a way to communicate with them, to let them know that I am still with them." The mysterious figure regarded Micah with a mixture of pity and understanding. "There is a way," they said, their voice softening, "but it comes at a price. Are you willing to pay it? You can only be visible to your family one time before your existence is erased from the living." Without hesitation, Micah nodded. He would do anything to bring peace to his family, even if it meant making a sacrifice. The figure instructed Micah to close his eyes and focus all his thoughts on his loved ones. With every ounce of his being, Micah poured his love and longing into his thoughts of Sarah, Emily, and Michael. He remembered the warmth of Sarah's embrace, the sound of Emily's laughter, and the way Michael would look up to him with admiration in his eyes. He held on to these memories, allowing them to fill him with a sense of purpose and determination. Suddenly, Micah felt a surge of energy, unlike anything he had ever experienced before. He opened his eyes to find himself standing in his living room, surrounded by his family. Sarah, Emily, and Michael were looking at him with wide eyes, their expressions a mix of disbelief and joy. "Micah, is that really you?" Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. Micah nodded, tears streaming down his face. "I'm here, Sarah. I'm here with all of you." Sarah rushed into his arms, embracing him tightly as if afraid he would vanish if she let go. Emily and Michael joined the embrace, their laughter and tears mingling with their mothers. For a brief moment, the family was reunited, their love transcending the boundaries of life and death. Micah savored the feeling of Sarah's arms around him, the sound of his children's laughter, and the overwhelming sense of peace that washed over him. But even in this moment of bliss, Micah knew that he could not stay. He had paid the price to be with his family, and now his time was running out. As the minutes ticked away, Micah whispered words of love and reassurance to his family, promising that he would always be with them in spirit. As his final moments approached, Micah felt a sense of acceptance wash over him. He was ready to move on, knowing that his family would carry his love with them always. With a final, lingering glance at his loved ones, Micah turned away and walked into the flickering light. And in that moment, Micah realized that death was not an end, but a new beginning. He was filled with a profound sense of peace, knowing that he would always be a part of his family's lives, guiding them, protecting them, and loving them from beyond the veil. As he crossed over into whatever lay beyond, Micah's last thought was of gratitude. Gratitude for the love he had shared, the memories he had created, and the knowledge that he would live on in the hearts of those he had left behind.